Based on a recent study, 57% of physicians report that their patients are seeking physician-assisted suicide. According to Merriam-Webster, physician-assisted suicide is suicide by a patient facilitated by means, drug prescription, or by information as an indication of a lethal dosage provided by a physician aware of the patient's intent. Many people can confuse physician-assisted suicide, or PAS, with another term, euthanasia, but there's a key difference between these two. Physician-assisted suicide is when the physician hands over the medication to the patient for them to use at their own free will. Euthanasia is when the physician actually has to deliver the medication to the patient. I don't have any personal experience in this matter, but I was interested to see how this problem is dealt with and how I'd be able to help myself or someone I may know in coming up with an option for this. So I'm going to explain to you the states that this is legal in and the steps it takes to obtain it, some arguments against PAS and some counters to those, and what a better future with PAS will look like. So we'll begin by examining some states and the steps it takes to obtain this, but first let's imagine a person is terminally ill, in need of help that they themselves cannot provide. Now let's imagine you in that situation. Do you know what questions to ask? Well, unfortunately, the first question you must ask is, what state do you live in? Because there's a 92% chance that the state you live in does not legally have physician-assisted suicide. Well, let's say you're lucky and happen to live in one of the 4 states, Montana, Oregon, Vermont, or Washington, that this is legal in. You still have to take 5 steps to be able to obtain this. First, you must be a legal resident of the state. Second, you must be at least 18 years of age. Third, you must submit 2 verbal requests and 1 written request. Fourth, you must have the verification from 2 doctors that you have less than 6 months to live. And fifth, you must pass a psychiatric test that proves that you are competent. After hearing this, let's view Washington, where this is legal. You may find something surprising about this, but did you know that just because PAS is legal, it doesn't have to be used? Well, according to William Yardley in a New York Times article in 2014, at least 36 terminally ill people died last year after taking lethal medication prescribed by doctors, but this number is barely more than half of the 63 people who filled their prescription. So, after hearing this, let's view some arguments against PAS and prove them to be false. So first, according to Statistic Brain website, in 2014, 55% of terminally ill patients die in pain, and people continue to argue against physician-assisted suicide. So seeing this, the first argument is that with improved access to hospice and palliative care, that people will no longer need physician-assisted suicide. But the argument against this is that, according to the About Health website in 2013, the most recent statistics from Oregon 2007 show that 88% of patients who opted for physician-assisted suicide were on hospice, thus showing that even with these types of care, people still found the need to seek out physician-assisted suicide. The second argument against this is that with the legalization of PAS, that the legalization of euthanasia won't be far behind, and they argue that we'll begin putting down the elderly, the mentally ill, the handicapped, and the list goes on. What I have to say to that is that if people believe that we will conform to those kinds of acts, that we live in a sick society, and these people have earned their time on this earth, they put in the hard work, and they deserve to stay here for as long as they want to. The last argument against PAS is that doctors swear by the Hippocratic Oath, which states that first, do no harm. What I have to say to that is physicians must ask themselves, am I harming this person by making them suffer? Or would I be harming them by giving them physician-assisted suicide, some medication to end their lives while they are still in peace? So, let's now look on to a better future with free will. So, imagine you have acquired pancreatic cancer. You lie there in excruciating pain all day. What options do you have? As of right now, it's mainly to suffer till the day you die. Would you like to lay there and ask the questions to yourself, am I hurting myself and my family by laying here spending all the hard-earned money that I've acquired on myself in a losing battle when the money could go to better use to my family? Many people ask themselves this very question and seek PAS to solve it for them. So they would like to die with dignity and not be a burden to their family before they lose all sense of themselves. So, conclusion to this is that many people are suffering throughout their illness, and there's no solution to this. It is very difficult for for themselves and their family. So now that we know the states and the process it takes to obtain physician-assisted suicide in those states, some arguments against PAS, and we've proven them wrong, and a better future with PAS, I would like for you to look into this controversial topic and seek out your government and make this change happen. Thank you.